That's the Russian character. He knows the heart of the Russian peasant. No, he knows nothing of them, despite his peasant airs and his beard and his boots. He's not a novelist or poet, not really. He's a historian, and he has no contact with the heart of Russia. Tolstoy is a count. Turgenev's family has wealth and social status. Even Gogol was the son of a gentry farmer and a mother who descended from Polish nobility. I am the son of a medical doctor, hardly a distinguished profession. Of course, far, far back, my family is descended from the Lithuanian nobility, but we have declined far from that. Many of my ancestors served as priests in the Uniat Church. Did you know that? Mykov nodded. Your father did register you and your brother in the directory. Yes, but that was hard won. He gained his noble status because of distinguished medical service. He wasn't born to it, nor was I. I didn't have any tutors, and my first adult acquaintances were my father's poor, pathetic patients at the hospital. I'd visit with them while they sat in the garden, and listen to their stories. Mykov knew Fyodor was in one of his aggressive moods, raging like Achilles. He took a sip of vodka and waited for him to continue. Dostoevsky poured water and took a drink. Anna's veal was delicious, but it made me so thirsty. Dostoevsky coughed, setting off a deep rattle in his chest. Pushkin was different, he continued. He was as high-born as any of them, and he knew the West and all their poets, but he knew the Russian heart and spoke directly to the Russian people. Fyodor stood, raised a hand, and adopted a pose. With fainting soul athirst for grace, I wandered in a desert place, and at the crossing of the ways I saw a sixfold seraph blaze. He touched mine eyes with fingers light, as sleep that cometh in the night. Yes, Pushkin was a prophet. He had his muse. Russia was his muse. Russia was his lady, the muse of all his desires. No one in Russia can see that, but that poem is my confession. I have seen that seraph and felt his burning touch. I know the Russian people, know them like no other writer today. Fyodor rolled a cigarette, lit it, and sucked in the calming smoke. As smoke curled around his mustache, he asked, Have I ever told you about Marais the peasant? Daravoye! We're going to Daravoye! Mikhail, Fyodor, and Andrei all sighed and stared out the window of the carriage as it clattered past the last houses of Moscow. Behind them lay the cramped rooms and low ceilings of the Dostoevsky home. Behind them was Dr. Dostoevsky, busy with his patients at the Maryinsky Hospital for the Poor. Dr. Dostoevsky was as stiff as his collar, with his military, monotonous, demanding regimen, up at 6, lessons until lunch when they would have to stand erect to endure an exacting review from father, lessons all afternoon, dinner at 9, prayers before the icons, bed, then up at 6 and the whole joyless round again and again. Behind this regimen were all the suppressed tensions that simmered beneath the surface of Dostoevsky propriety. Behind them were father's irritable rages, his tirades at the slightest error in Latin or arithmetic. He never hit them, but his insults were painful. "Sluggards and fools!" he would roar, and Fyodor's heart would whirl in confusion, eager to please, resentful, rebellious, then guilty for his resentfulness and bitterness all at once. Sometimes he wanted to disappear or die. In good weather, Dr. Dostoevsky took his children for a walk in the evening, but even then father frowned sternly if they began to run or wrestle or behave in any manner unbefitting to respectability and family honor. Home in Moscow, Fyodor stayed indoors most of the time, and he never ventured out without his father. But now they were going to Daravoye, the Dostoevsky country estate. There a boy could stretch his legs, run, roam, explore. There he could be free. No wonder the boys greeted every trek to Daravoye with ecstatic excitement. Life in Moscow was not without its joys, Fyodor thought, as he listened to the bells jingling on the horse's harness. Often it was happy. Mother made it happy. Mother was with them in the carriage to Daravoye. With her natural gaiety, kindness, and compassion, Marya Fyodorovna Dostoevskaya made up for what her strict, anxious husband lacked. She, too, was eager to visit Daravoye. Since her husband had bought the property the previous year, in 1831, she had found it a place where she could be useful. She was heartbroken at the living conditions of the peasants on the estate, and she did all she could. Too much.